Hello everyone, welcome back to SSB Crack Exams. I am Sakshi and we are going to discuss daily current affairs, the most important news for you as per 25th September 2020. Before beginning, I would like to introduce you with SSB Crack Exams. It is one of the leading institution if you're preparing for defense examination like NDA, CDS, AFCAT, Territorial Army, and for other defense examination. You can always visit our website ssbcrackexams.com. There you will find the entire package related to the courses that we offer. You can also follow us on our social media platforms for instant updates on defense. And do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and download our mobile app from Google Play Store. So let's start with the question of the day. And the question was Samarth scheme, and I really appreciate how you people answer these questions. So Samarth, it is for textile sector. Samarth, also known as capacity building program, capacity building in the textile sector. So Samarth scheme is for the textile sector, first point. Second is it comes under obviously Ministry of Textile and it comes under the scheme of skill development scheme. Samarth, this scheme, Samarth scheme, it is about providing skill development to youth. And this provides skill development to youth for obviously gainful and sustainable development in the textile sector. And it is covering the entire value chain of textile, excluding spinning and weaving. Okay, excluding these two things, all the value chain are covered under the scheme. What are the objective? Objective is to provide demand driven, placement oriented national skill qualification framework. Okay, it is a compliant skilling program to incentivize organized textile and related sectors, and as I told you, excluding the spinning and weaving. Also to promote skilling and skill up gradation in the traditional sector of handlooms, handicrafts, sericulture, jute. Also to provide sustainable livelihood to all the sections of the society across the country. So these are the objective of Samarth scheme, and this is about Samarth scheme. Let's start our day with the first major important news that we have today. It is about the CAG report, which is Comptroller and Auditor General of India. So CAG submitted its report recently on various things, and one of the report was on construction of toilets in the school by CPSCs. The construction of toilets in the schools by CPSCs, which is CPSCs are Central Public Sector Enterprises. So Central Public Sector Enterprises who has constructed the toilets in the school, the CAG has given its report on that. So the highlights of the report, the key highlights of the report is that the public sector unit, it claimed to have constructed 1.4 lakh toilets in the government school, and this was as a part of Right to Education project. Okay, CPSC has constructed 1.4 lakh toilets, but almost 40% of those surveyed, they were found to be non-existent, partially constructed or unused. So this is the report. Also, over 70% of them did not have running water facilities in the toilets, and while 75% were not being maintained hygienically. So these are the key highlights of the report. So basically, CAG has reviewed the Swachh Vidyalay Abhiyan. CPSC has constructed those toilets under Swachh Vidyalay Abhiyan. So we will discuss about this particular Abhiyan. It was launched in the year 2014 by Ministry of HRD, which is now Ministry of Education. So Ministry of Education has constructed this Swachh Vidyalay Abhiyan. The aim was to meet the Right to Education Act's mandate, and the mandate is that all the school must have separate toilets for boys and girls. Okay, this is the main mandate, main aim of this Swachh Vidyalay Abhiyan. Under the program, CPSCs, they are to build toilets with running water and hand washing facilities, but CAG on its report has claimed that 40% of the toilets in the government schools, they are unused. So this is in the news. Apart from it, we have another important update regarding the CAG report on the Indian Railways. So CAG, it also submitted its reports on Indian Railway. So the report was titled as Assessment and Utilization of Locomotives and Production and Maintenance of LHB Coaches in the Indian Railway. So this is the title. So let's see what are the key highlights and the key finding of the report. So under the report, the number of diesel locos has been increased by 20% between 2012 to 2018. There's been 20% increase in the diesel locos. And what is the reason? The reason is that the Indian Railway Board failed to assess the requirement of the electric locos, and this was the aim of Indian Railways. So which means in turn it highlighted the gap in the implementation of mission electrification, mission 100% electrification of Indian Railway and decarbonization of Indian Railway. Okay, so let's see what is mission 100% electrification. So Indian Railway, it aims to achieve 100% electrification in its railway network by the year 2023. Before it was 2022, but it has been postponed to 2023, and it was to be done through mission electrification plan. Okay, 63% of railway lines, they have been electrified in the country, and around 23,765 routes are yet to be electrified. So this is the recent data about the mission 100% electrification, and CAG on its report has submitted few points. Now let's understand and let's quickly revise about the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. It is an independent office. He is the head of Indian Audit and Accounts Department. Also, he is the chief guardian of the public purse. Please do remember these things. These are very common and many times asked in your examination repetitively. Also, the constitutional provisions for the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, they are under Article 148 to Article 151. So what is the duty of CAG? The duty is to uphold the Constitution of India and laws of the Parliament in the field of financial administration. So when it comes to reports, so the reports of the CAG submits its audit reports relating to the accounts of center and state to the President and Governor. In case of center, the reports relating to the accounts in case of center, they are submitted to President, and in case of state, they are submitted to Governor. And these President and Governor, they shall in turn place them before the Houses of the Parliament or the state legislature, whatever it is. So these are the functions of Comptroller and Auditor General of India. I hope you are now clear about CAG and the reports. Now let's move ahead, and next important update we have is about the G4 Foreign Minister Summit. So recently, virtually, obviously as you can see in these images, so virtually G4 foreign ministers, they had a meeting. So the G4, it consists of India, Brazil, Japan and Germany. These are the four countries. Please do remember these names. G4 consists of India, Brazil, Japan and Germany. It is a group of countries that they are seeking permanent membership in the UNSC, which is United Nations Security Council. So all these four countries, they have a same goal to achieve the UNSC permanent membership. So under the meeting, they have highlighted the urgency of reforming in the United Nations. They want some urgency in the reforming in the United Nations. Also updating in its main decision-making bodies in order to better reflect contemporary realities. So all these four countries are standing at the same position in order to achieve these goals. Talking about India, India is about to commence its 2-year non-permanent term on UNSC this January, and India is a proponent of other UNSC reforms such as increasing in the number of permanent members, which are now, there are only 5 permanent members in the UNSC. India wants there should be an increase in the number of the permanent members, also in the non-permanent members, which is currently only 10 seats. Also, India wants to ensure the greater representation of Africa along with these 4 countries. Okay, so this is about the G4 meetings of the foreign ministers. Next update we have is about the plastic park scheme. So government, it has come up with the scheme of setting up of plastic park with a state-of-art infrastructure through cluster development approach. They are using cluster development approach for this plastic park scheme. So it will be coming under Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizers. Okay, and Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizers has approved the setting up of 10 plastic parks in the country. So this is the news why the plastic parks scheme is in the news. So the Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizer has approved the construction of 10 plastic parks in the country, and these parks are being set up in the state of Assam, Madhya Pradesh, Orissa, Tamil Nadu, Jharkhand, Uttarakhand and Chhattisgarh. These parks are to be set up in these states. What are plastic parks? These are the industrial zones. These are an industrial zones developed in a cluster approach. We have just studied, and they are developed for establishing units for plastic enterprises and its allied. Okay, so this is the plastic park. Now I'll be telling you the current COVID-19 situation as per 24th September. The total cases have reached to 57,32,518. The recovered are 46,74,987, and the active cases are 9,66,382, and deaths have reached to 91,149. Now here in this chart you can see that 75% of the new cases, now the 75% of those new cases in the 10 states, they are concentrated in these 10 states and union territories, and these states are the highest number of the new cases. You can see the very high scale you can see in Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, then Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Orissa, Delhi, West Bengal and Chhattisgarh. So this is the data. Now it is time to revise the entire session with the questions. So the questions I am going to tell you, and the first question is, who is the head of Indian Audit and Accounts Department? For Indian Audit and Accounts Department, who is the head? Finance Minister, President, Prime Minister, CAG, which is Comptroller and Auditor General of India. So the correct answer is CAG. Next question is, who is the Chief Guardian of Public Purse? Who is the Chief Guardian of Public Purse? Finance Minister, President, Prime Minister, CAG. So the correct answer is Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Next question is, Comptroller and Auditor General of India submits its report to President, Prime Minister, Finance Minister, none of these. So the correct answer is, it submits its reports to the President, and in case of state, it submits its reports to Governor. Okay. So sometimes it is written in your news that CAG has submitted its reports to Parliament, which means in turn, first of all, it submits its report to the President, and President submits the report of CAG to the Parliament. Okay. Now it is time for question of the day. So the question for you is, what are the key features of Major Port Authorities Bill? So you need to answer the key features about this particular bill. We'll discuss the complete detailed features about this particular Major Port Authorities Bill 2020 in the next session. Till then, stay motivated, work hard. Jai Hind.